Welcome everyone to Wrestling Spotlight today, October the 23rd, 2012. Pete, we finally have met the 13-year mark, the lucky number 13. We'll see how it goes, but we've got a big show scheduled for today. And I know we've had about, what, 2 months off?
Been a long time.
Been a long time, so hopefully...
Long time.
What's that?
Long time.
So hopefully we can get the show off without any hitches, but tonight's going to be an informative show. I'm going to kick it right over to our special guest tonight. Our guest tonight is a longtime friend of the show, personal friend, and obviously I want to introduce none other than the Ring of Honor announcer himself, the main man, the third man in the ring, if you will, none other than Bobby Cruise. Welcoming Bobby back to the show here. Some 7.5 years. Let me tell you, it's hot in here.
I can't, well, it is a little bit hot, but I can't believe you told me it's been 7.5 years.
7.5 years. It was the last time you were here, I believe, was January of 2005. We were promoting a Ring of Honor show up in Cambridge. And just prior to that, you were announcing, prior to that show, it was the end of 2004, I believe. And you were in the center of the EWA show announcing you wanted to retire, to spend time with the family. But now, that didn't happen. Look at you now.
I do remember that, actually. I think I was ready to retire a few times from professional wrestling and ring announcing specifically. But like I said, here it is, October 2012, and sitting right next to you.
A lot has happened in the last 7.5 years. We're going to be getting to it. The first 15, 20 minutes or so, we've got a huge announcement coming up just before the 8 o'clock hour. We've got two special clips. One big clip we're going to play to close out the show, but we'll be getting to that in just a few moments. But like I said, 7.5 years, a lot has transpired. We're going to get into this momentarily. You've actually had the opportunity to participate within the WWE, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Right.
WWE. You've also, I've done things that many have only dreamt about. Japan, United Kingdom. Now, Pete, can we bring that down a little bit? Do we have a call? Ring of Honor now, Sinclair Corporation now, they got their, we're on local TV here, so that's good. Internet pay-per-views and so much more. So I'm gonna throw it over to you, going back to 2005. The last time you were here, how did it all develop? You talked, like we were talking WWE, we're talking, you know, the whole Japan thing, and I believe that was for Dragon Gate.
Dragon Gate.
But bring us right back to that now.
Yeah, a lot has happened. I mean, it just rewinding my ring announcing career the first several years, starting in 1994 with then New England Wrestling here in Fall River, and now called, of course, Top Rope Promotions, still in business and still doing well under Steve Ricard. Until 2000 and 2001, I was strictly a New England announcer. Did not break out anywhere, couldn't, you know, was never asked to go announce anywhere else. And Steve Carino came up and did some shows for Yankee Pro at the time, and liked my announcing, asked me to go down to the PWF in Pennsylvania. They were running once a month on a Sunday.
Oh, those are awful. The shows weren't awful.
Those drives.
The drives were awful.
Yeah, I agree. And then from there, I got spotted by 01 first, was the first company I went to Japan for. Did some pay-per-views over there for 01, and then kind of things snowballed.
And that was 2001?
That was 2002.
2002.
That I first went over to Japan for 01. And like I said, things kind of snowballed after that, and it's been a good ride the past 10 years.
So it was 2005. So where did the whole United Kingdom was with, what, Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor was... yeah, Ring of Honor did a couple shows in Japan and also did some in the United Kingdom. I actually did two show tours for Ring of Honor in the UK. And one of them was one of the most famous matches in Ring of Honor history in the Liverpool Olympia, was the unification match between Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGuinness with the Pure title and the World title. So there's been some big stuff that's happened, there's no doubt.
Now, at what point did the phone call from Stanford come into play? Yeah,
it was September of 06. They called me kind of early September, and I remember specifically when I tell the story because the following week they were doing, I think they did Raw and MSG, and SmackDown was going to be in Worcester. So when I got the message, I didn't answer the first call. I got the message, said, oh, we'd like to speak to you about auditioning to be a ring announcer with us. And I figured when I call them back, they were going to say, hey, come to Worcester. Nope. They wanted me 2 weeks later to go out to Oklahoma City and Tulsa, which I thought was kind of interesting. But
at that point, did you think it was a full-time gig? Or?
I thought it was going to be, absolutely. I thought they had an interest because they told me they had seen my stuff with Ring of Honor, and they weren't even just having me come in to do dark match. you know, usually that's how it goes, just like a wrestler. It's a dark match or two. They were having me do the dark matches each night, but they were also having me just get right in and announce their Sunday Night Heat back then, without even really seeing me in a WWE ring. So that was pretty cool, and it showed they had some confidence in me, and that went very well. Great feedback from everyone, and they called me a week later and said, you know what, everyone liked you. Did you like us? I said yes. They said, we want you to come out again. So a month later, I went out to Chicago and St. Louis for Raw and SmackDown again, did the exact same thing. And I'll never forget, I came home on a Wednesday from TV. On Friday, I was flying out with Ring of Honor back to Dayton and Chicago again. I just come from there, basically. And came home on a Sunday and just reading some of the stuff online from wrestling news sites. And it basically said that they were going to scrap ECW house shows. They were drawing 600-700 people. Yeah. And they were going to combine their house shows with SmackDown. And as soon as I read that, I knew I was done. Because at that point, they didn't need an additional ring announcer. And I got the call the next day, and I was told our need for an additional ring announcer just was greatly diminished. And I said, yeah, I read about it yesterday.
Oh, because of the ECW.
Yeah, and that was pretty much the end of that. But
if that ECW was the flourish, do you think that it might have been like an ECW brand type of thing for you? Or?
No, I think at that time anyway, you know, things changed. It was going to be, Justin Roberts was the backup Raw announcer, and he was doing the Raw house shows. When they gave him ECW, they gave him his own brand. They were going to put me in that backup Raw announcer, so doing the house shows on the weekends, and then going to TV and doing Heat, and, you know, filling in for Lillian back then whenever she would have a vacation from Raw or whatever. So. But everything happens for a reason. It doesn't happen for a reason.
And it's one thing, you know, the Japan thing was one thing, United Kingdom was another, and we're talking the whole WWE was another. But to get the I call it the cameo in the wrestler. How did that come about?
Luck. That's strictly what it was. Darren Aronofsky, the director of The Wrestler, had come to a few Ring of Honor events in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and New York City just to kind of check things out and practice shooting wrestling matches and such. And I had heard through the grapevine that they were going to use me as the ring announcer at some point in The Wrestler. They shot with different promotions, but when they did the Ring of Honor scene, it would be me. So we got to Dover, New Jersey for the first night of shooting, which also took place over Ring of Honor events on a Friday and
I was going to
Saturday
ask you, was it one location that they shot from?
Yeah, they shot at a theater in Dover, New Jersey that we had never been to, and it was basically, you know, they'd shoot something for the movie and have a match with Ring of Honor, then shoot something, and it went that way for 2 nights, basically. Which was different, but it was cool the way they did it. And 10 minutes, I would say, before we go out for the first night, Larry Sweeney, the late Larry Sweeney, God bless his soul, was supposed to be the ring announcer, basically. And he had this bright white suit, kind of tuxedo. It was ugly. He looked like a ringmaster for Ringling Brothers, basically. But, you know, he had talked to them and was going to be the ring announcer. And Gabe Sapolsky, who was still the booker of Ring of Honor at that time, told Aronofsky, he said, you can't do that. He said, why? He said, because Sweeney's a bad guy. He's going to go out there and they're going to boo him. He's a bad guy manager. So Aronofsky's now, you know, less than 10 minutes away from going and shooting this thing. All right, what do we do? What do we do? And Gabe said, use Bobby, use our announcer. So they hand me this pamphlet with the script, basically.
10 minutes before you go.
Yeah, less than that. And it was basically just announcing the opponents in the matches. In the match, basically, it was one match, but I must have announced that match 20 times over the 2 nights. They had to keep shooting it from this angle and everything. But that's really how I kind of fell into it. And Gabe, I know Gabe has said in the past that I still owe him one as a thank you for getting me in that movie. But
I mean, you never know where it's
cool.
you never know where it's going to get you. I mean, like you said, you did the WWE, you did all the other stuff with the wrestling. I mean, is there anything to this point that you have on the quote the bucket list that you haven't accomplished yet?
No, not specifically. I guess you know, like I said, doing Japan, which is something I never thought I would do.
That's everybody's dream to go there.
And you know, doing work for Ring of Honor, of course, for years, and doing work with WWE. I guess it would be good to announce one match for TNA, you know, because then I could say I announced in Japan, I announced for the 3 biggest promotions in the U.S. Right now I have 2 of the 3 biggest, but I don't see that happening. So
never say never. Yeah. You know how it goes, never say never.
Maybe Dave Lagana's watching this online, my old pal.
Actually, yeah, we want to remind everybody that watching this live here in Fall River, this will be replayed for the upcoming few weeks, right in this time slot, Tuesday nights at 7:30, and wherever they decide to pop in the show as a replay. New Bedford can see this every Saturday at 12:30 on Channel 95. And also on the our YouTube channel on the Wrestling Spotlight, we'll be having this loaded up in the next few days. And also, for anybody out of the viewing area, if you go to frctv.org, go to the top of the website, hit the on-demand, scroll down, and just click Wrestling Spotlight, and you'll see the show in its entirety. Minus something that we have to cut out because we are on the live feed.
Because I swear.
No, we're not going to swear.
I won't slip.
Now, with Ring of Honor now, when we used to go to a lot of the Ring of Honor shows in the past, 2004, 2005. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that product was the new product of Ring of Honor is now. That's what's on TV. Now, with Ring of Honor not doing a lot of shows like the old, I call it the old Ring of Honor, okay? But they got a lot fewer, lesser shows, but the intensity and the action is there. Now, California, you got Chicago, I believe it was Illinois, New York. Now, Ring of Honor now, you know, in your viewpoint, where do you see Ring of Honor go in the next, 12, 18 months? Being that they've got the TV deal, like everybody's waiting for, you've got these selected shows, not as often, but when they come, they mean something.
It's a great question, and I'm not sure I know the answer. Even after being with the company full-time basically for 8 years, I'm not sure where we're headed. Things have certainly been different since May of 2011 when we had a locker room meeting in Chicago saying Sinclair Broadcast Group has purchased the company. And
what were your thoughts at that point?
I didn't know. It's honestly, I thought WWE was buying us, basically. Really? Yeah, I really thought WWE was buying us because we knew something was going on, but it was so tight-lipped. It was the best-kept secret in wrestling.
Nobody knew.
Usually, wrestling's like high school. You know, you can keep things quiet for like an hour and then it's out. But this was, I mean, I was in pretty good with the office, and I couldn't get anything out of anybody. So. I wasn't familiar with Sinclair Broadcast Group or anything, and I remember after the meeting, Todd Sinclair, of course, our senior referee, and my traveling partner on the road.
Which we'll be getting into that a little bit later.
We went to lunch at a place down the street from the building in Chicago Ridge, and Dave Lagana came, and he said, Dave was kind of explaining it to us and saying, this is a big deal. They're a multi-million-dollar company. They own stations all over the place. It's not like you can get taken off a station because they own the content, so they're going to leave you on and so forth. So I don't think things have gone like the company expected them to go in the first, say, 16 months or whatever it's been since they took over. I almost think that they thought maybe let's throw it on 60 stations that we own across the country, and we'll be drawing so many people, when we go to these towns, and it hasn't worked out that way. We still have the best in-ring action in wrestling. There's no doubt about that.
The attendance is still up there, isn't it?
The attendance is good. I mean, we were in Toronto recently for a pay-per-view.
Which, that's where the clips are coming from, the, I got to hit down here, Border Wars.
Border Wars, and we just, actually had Glory by Honor. We were just back in Toronto here in the past couple weeks. Great crowd. Great response. Chicago, we had a pay-per-view in September. It was very good. We go to New York City for Final Battle in December. They've established a new market in Baltimore where we shoot a lot of our TV. That's Sinclair Broadcast Group's home base, so it works out well. We'll see. I mean, they had recently made a change in creative, basically, and we'll see how that goes for the rest of this year and into next year.
Now, looking at it to this point, let's say, you said this back in 2004. 8 years later, now it's 2012. You're going to say it again. Now, what if tomorrow I decide, you didn't want to do this anymore? Which I don't see it happen because I think you, if anybody, feels the most comfortable within Ring of Honor because you can tell when it hits TV. If tomorrow comes, it's like I don't want to do it anymore. Is there anything that you would change over this course of the past, let's say, 8 years within Ring of Honor? The whole. I should have, I could have, I didn't get the chance to do that, but I should have did it when the opportunity came.
Yeah, I think I would change the way I was sometimes with the company behind the scenes, especially like in the mid-2000s or later 2000s where, let's be blunt, I was married and I wasn't happy in that marriage, and it spills out into other things, and you kind of become, I don't want to say a jerk, but you just don't have the patience you should have and so forth. And there were several times I would tell Gabe, "I'm done. This is no good." I remember,
really,
yeah,
really.
Well,
that's going to be kind of a lead into my next question because it's funny that you say that. With that in mind, what you just told us, someone asked me to pass this along, and I don't know the answer to this, so I'm going to ask you. Let's say, for an example, Ring of Honor would do a 2 or 3 days. Let's say Toronto. Let's say Toronto. Now, from that first show that first morning, walk us through it now. What consists of being the, I can't say athlete in the ring because obviously you're not a performer, but the Ring of Honor announcer, waking up first thing in the morning, take us the day by day, leaving the house, catching the plane, doing this and doing that. So people have an idea. It's not like quick drive, boom, building, you show up like 10 minutes before the show starts. It doesn't work like that. Yeah,
we've gotten, especially with our TVs and pay-per-views, we've gotten actually more like WWE. When I was doing WWE stuff, when I was at a Raw taping, we had to be there at noon. You know,
Wow.
SmackDown, you had to be there at 1. And Ring of Honor's kind of gotten that like that with our TVs and pay-per-views. You want to make sure everyone's in town, at the arena. You know, they have different promos they need to shoot with different guys. Not so much for me. You know, my job's kind of easy, especially after being with the company 8 years. They kind of just leave me alone. But I can give you a perfect example. A couple weeks ago when we were in Toronto, I had a 6:15 flight out of Providence, so I was up about 4.
Now, is this, where exactly did you meet Fat Pants on this one?
Okay, so we both actually had the same flights. He lives past Boston, so he likes to fly out of Manchester, New Hampshire, or Logan, but he prefers Manchester, just like I prefer Providence. So we were both flying out about the same times. So my 6:15 a.m. flight out of Providence, I was up about 4. Had most of my stuff ready to go already the previous night. You know, hop in the shower, grab my stuff, get to the airport. I don't check bags, so it's just kind of just carry it through and
just carry on
right on the plane. So had a connection at BWI. That's where I met up with Fat Pants. He had a
to Baltimore?
Yes, had a connection in Baltimore like I did. And then we were on the same flight from Baltimore to Buffalo. So that was about a 45, 50-minute flight. Get to Buffalo. And everyone else had already flown in basically before us. We were kind of getting there later than everyone. And so grab a rental car. And then B.J. Whitmer was flying in after us.
You had to wait for him?
So we waited for B.J. to give him a ride.
No,
So
what time is it to this point?
11 o'clock, B.J. was getting in. So we met up with B.J., and then we started to head up to Toronto. And it's about an hour and 40, 45-minute ride. But you never know at the border.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
So especially when you say pro wrestling, you never know at the border. But knock on wood, you know, the past few trips, we just go right through and it's not a problem. So get over the border, drive into Canada, and then we decide, you know, stop somewhere to eat, take an hour, hour and a half, grab something to eat. And I would say by this time it's 2:30. We go to the arena, check in, and pretty much are there until 7:30 bell time.
Then the show, you let out after you know it, sometime about midnight.
That show, yeah, around 11:30 is finally when we got out of there. For me, as a ring announcer, you know, guys are, you know, like I said, doing promos or different things. For me, it's basically just to get the lineup. Where it was a pay-per-view, it's actually a format with different things and what's happening when and stuff like that. Around 4 o'clock, had a production meeting where you just walk through everything. You know, the director's there, the booker's there, the cameramen are there, sound people, everything's there. And okay, it's as detailed as, okay, this guy, entrance, intro. This guy, entrance, intro, and that kind of stuff. So
Margin of error is really slim.
yeah, there's stuff like that. I mean, when you're a company as big as Ring of Honor, you know, you're not going to match the production that you see on a Monday or Friday with WWE or anything like that. But still, there's no reason to have production mishaps, basically. So, you know, try and do everything we can to make sure it doesn't happen.
One last thing to close out this before we get to the announcement. We got some clips here. Now, I consider Ring of Honor the number 2 company. TNA, even though many people say it's WWE TNA, then Ring of Honor, TNA is really not putting the best foot forward as of late. Now, being within Ring of Honor, what happens when you see one of the main guys get called up to the main roster to WWE? A guy who was a main guy on the Ring of Honor roster. How does the company feel knowing that, you know, Vince and the guys are watching you, yet anybody can be picked at any given time?
Yeah, it can get frustrating at times, but then again, you're happy for those guys.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
You know, a guy like CM Punk, who was, I mean, some of the best stuff I've ever seen in my 18+ years in wrestling was stuff that CM Punk and Gabe Sapolsky did together.
Exactly, yeah.
That Summer of Punk stuff before he went to WWE. Just great stuff. So, you know, to see a guy have a chance to go make well into the 6 figures or 7 figures even, you're obviously happy for it, but it can get frustrating when, you know, you feel like the company's really on a roll,
and he's still that main guy.
And then somebody gets plucked again.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. I mean, another guy's Claudio Castagnoli, who's apparently tearing it up now in WWE, and you have one of the nicest guys in the world, never mind in wrestling. So you're happy for someone like that. But yeah, it can get frustrating, but I can't really say anything because I almost did it. You know what I mean? I sat Gabe down, I sat Carrie Silken down in New York City and said, hey, listen, WWE called me. I'm going to TV in 2 weeks. You know, it looks like they may hire me. You know what I mean? So I can't obviously judge anyone on something like that because when an opportunity comes up, you got to do what's best for you and your family, basically.
Now, I just lost my train of thought. But anyway,
shocking.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the Ring of Honor segments that we want to get into. Now, Bobby, we talked about everything on your end, but now I think it's now for the remainder of the 45 minutes or such. Let's get into the big announcement. You gave me a call, I want to say maybe 3 months ago. We worked together in the past. And by the way, before we do, we'll open up the phone lines at 508-730-3272. Let's get the number on the screen. We've got a lot of information we're going to get out here, so anybody that's obviously is watching, get a pen and paper because we've got a lot of information we want to get out to you, and you can get it down. So that's the number to give us a call. We are live tonight. You ended up giving me a call I want to say 2-3 months ago. We've worked together in the past, and you mentioned that there was a benefit charity fundraiser coming up, and you discussed it with me. So I'm going to throw it over to you, and let's just get the ball rolling on this. Let's introduce it to the fans, what you had in mind, how did it come about, who contacted you and such?
Yeah, it's I actually was contacted in the spring by a guy by the name of Mike Lavoie, who's a firefighter in Fall River, who I've known for a few years now, good guy. And the firefighters are always doing fundraisers to fight muscular dystrophy, especially in children. And he mentioned, you know, they do a certain fundraiser here, a certain fundraiser there. They wanted to do something different. So he mentioned running a pro wrestling event and contacted me to see if I'd be interested in kind of organizing the thing. And I said, yeah, let's do something, especially when it's, you know, 15 minutes from my house. And originally it was going to happen end of September. But I have 2 daughters, both play softball on 2 different teams, and I manage both their teams.
I know you're extremely
Next thing I look, it's like June, you know, and I'm busy with softball 5 days a week, and so I called Mike back and said, listen, we can't do this in September because I want to do it right if we're going to do it. I said, let's shoot for the winter. You know, softball's done. I'll have more time on my hands to give this and dedicate some time to it and such. And so I threw the dates at him, and we're ready to roll with this thing.
Okay, so it's going to be Saturday night, December the 8th. If there's a building not fitting more than this in the city of Fall River, it would be the Bank Street Armory, 72 Bank Street in Fall River to benefit muscular dystrophy.
Right. It's Firefighters Against Muscular Dystrophy, and it's also a fundraiser along with that for the Armory itself, which is now, I was told, calling it the Greater Fall River Recreation Center. So to raise some funds for some programs there also. Okay. Now,
obviously, the most important thing, aside from the raising funds for the muscular dystrophy, is obviously the card. And I thought that the We Can Beat the Cancer Fund for Christopher was one hell. We drew about 750 plus people there. Mick Foley headlined. It was a great show. A lot of memories, raised thousands and thousands of dollars for Christopher's fund. Thank God, because look at him now.
Yeah.
And knock on wood, he beat it, and he's in remission. So God bless him for that. Now, exactly, what is the card looking like? What are because we've got ticket information, but before we get into that, let's let the fans know exactly. We know what it's about. Who are they going to see?
Well, especially fans of the Fall River, New Bedford area are familiar with wrestlers from Top Rope Promotions, either past or present, and that's where I really want to put a focus there. I want to work closely with Top Rope. I've talked to Steve Ricard from Top Rope. There's someone else I want to talk to from Top Rope. I want to have a Top Rope presence at this show at the Armory.
So this show is going to represent basically the best, the very best in New England.
It's going to definitely represent the best in New England. Okay. For example, my goal at this show at the Armory is to have a Top Rope Promotions tag team title match. Okay, that's one thing I specifically would like to do. And names out there that are already agreed to appear are guys who have been in Fall River and New Bedford in the past, and maybe haven't been for a while, like Jason Blade, Matt Taven. A guy like Bobby Fish, who's been all over the world.
Bobby Fish,
international star, Japan, many, many times.
Pro Wrestling No, I believe, too, correct?
Absolutely. Not sure when the last time he's been in Japan. Been in Fall River, but he will be at the event. This thing is going to be stacked, and Ring of Honor will be represented.
Have any matches been signed as of yet? Are we just looking at the single?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how we're going to announce these matches. I kind of want to give a little bit at a time, you know?
Okay.
So, right now, it's basically talent.
So right now we got Jason Blade.
Jason Blade, Matt Taven.
Matt Taven. Now, wasn't he, now, don't want to interrupt you, wasn't he, I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, he got signed by...
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I talked to him. He's done some TV work for Ring of Honor in Baltimore, and I talked to him one day, and you know, I mentioned that I would have these events, and I said, are you going to be around? Because I'm hearing rumors or whatever, and he says, I'm not sure, I'll let you know. But he will be around, and he will be on the Fall River event. Bobby Fish, as I mentioned. And Ring of Honor will be represented by a former top rope star, actually the prodigy Mike Bennett.
Mikey Bennett comes back to town.
On the event as well as Ring of Honor World Champion Kevin Steen.
Let me tell you about Kevin Steen. We're going to be closing out the show with that video. And Steen, Carino, you watch it, and the whole cornet thing, you watch the TV tapings and such. There came a point where Steen just snapped.
Yeah, he's lost it.
He lost it. And we're going to see this match with Davey Richards up in Toronto. But rumor has it, I don't know how true this is, that he actually recently, he almost knocked you, he gave you a kick.
Yeah, he super kicked me in June, I think it was, at our anniversary event at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. And yeah, he's definitely lost it.
So Steen's defending the ROH title.
Steen is not defending the ROH title.
Oh, it's not defending the title.
Not that day.
Okay.
No, he will be in a tag team match, I believe. But like I said, I don't want to give too much.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's 6 weeks away or so.
But Ring of Honor is being...
Ring of Honor will be represented by Bennett. He'll be represented by Steen.
Okay.
That may not be the end of Ring of Honor at this event either.
So Jason Blade would basically be representing what, Top Rope Promotions?
I guess if you want to assign who's representing who, you know, and you know, there will be wrestlers from Chaotic Wrestling.
No kidding.
Wrestlers. NECW actually has an event that night, so they will be at our next event the following day up in Canton. They will not be in Fall River because they have an event on December 8th. But Top Rope, as I said, Chaotic, Ring of Honor.
Any name from Chaotic as of yet? Just to throw it out for the people here tonight.
No, actually.
No names as of yet.
No, I'm not doing that.
Anybody from Chaotic is always a plus.
Chaotic is, you know, great.
They're selling out houses like left and right nowadays, so God bless them. NECW obviously is not going to be represented. You did say the following night, which is a whole totally different card. Is anybody else off the top that you like to drop out here?
Oh, did you want me to drop the big one? Well, I didn't know if you wanted to do that.
No, it's up to you. I've heard so many rumors about different names. I have to hear it from you. Okay. And I heard that you've there's one tucked aside you're not going to be unveiling tonight either.
Right.
That's why we've got the event hotline.
There will be another unveiling coming very soon, but I can announce that at December 8th at the fundraiser event at the Bank Street Armory / Greater Fall River Recreation Center, there will be a special appearance, meet and greet autograph session and photo opportunity, as well as an in-ring interview with the legendary Jerry the King Lawler.
No kidding.
We're very excited about that.
Yeah, I met him 4 or 5 years ago. The nicest guy in the world.
Great guy.
Great guy.
And that's the thing with something like this. You know, you're doing it for fundraising, and specifically me, I don't have a ton of time to put into things properly. So I don't want any headaches. You know, I don't want any issues. That's why everyone that I book on this event, no one's going to be a problem. No attitudes or anything. And Jerry Lawler was the first person I thought of as far as that superstar name to appear at this event, because here's a guy, legendary, obviously.
Oh, 30, 40 years in the business.
You know, as far as I know, hopefully soon he'll be returning to Monday Night Raw for 3 hours every Monday night doing his...
Do you know how his status is as of late?
He's doing very well.
Okay.
He's doing very well, and looks good. And he will be... greeting all of the fans for this autograph session and the in-ring interview in Fall River.
So let me get this right. So on December the 8th, we've got Jason Blade, we've got Matt Taven, Bobby Fish, Mike Bennett, and Kevin Steen from Ring of Honor. Chaotic names to be announced. No NECW, but he will be on the following night. I got to ask you, the girls. They always want to see the girls.
Right. And we're working on it.
Still working on it.
We're working on it. I have something.
You can guarantee me that we will have a couple of females there.
Yes, and okay. I have something that's so close, but I don't like to say it until it's 100%.
Yeah.
Like for example, Jerry Lawler on Friday morning was 95%. and I didn't say anything to anyone.
Till it's 100.
And then Friday evening, he became 100%. So, you know, I have I would say a very well-known female that the fans of Fall River would be very happy if she appeared at this event.
I'm going to pick your brain now, okay? Has she ever appeared in this city?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Really?
No. I would have to say no.
Pete, what do you think?
I'm just gonna say I hope it really comes true.
Wait.
Me too.
You know?
I just hope it comes true.
Did you feel him? I don't know. I'm dying to know who it is. Anyway.
Bump her leg.
Maybe. Oh, maybe he heard something. But
anyway,
I have kept it very quiet. I was actually working the phone today, just trying to get it confirmed.
Right
I have
before the show,
90% done. I just don't have that 100% yet. And until then, I would rather not say it here, and then you have to put on the event hotline. Oh, by the way, what Bobby said, it didn't end up happening. And
what we're going to do
off
is
to a bad start. But Jerry Lawler is 100%, so we can say that.
Now, is that for both shows or just for the fall?
That'll be both shows, yeah.
No
the following
kidding.
day in Canton.
But we're pushing the Fall River show tonight.
Yes.
So Saturday. Now I got to ask you though, Saturday, December 8th. What a card like this? I mean, what are the tickets out? You know, what are the tickets looking for, as far as price wise?
So reasonable, right? Because obviously the economy's terrible. It's still terrible.
No kidding.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm divorced, I know.
There goes the phone.
So we want to give an all-star card, so to speak,
Yeah.
the old school all-star card. We want to have 7, 8 great matches that everyone's going to love. We want to have the Jerry Lawler autograph session with his in-ring interview included and everything. So we have to take that in consideration, take in consideration it's a fundraiser, and also not outprice anything, because we want as many people there as possible.
Obviously, I'm sure the fans, knowing that it's a fundraiser, wouldn't mind spending that little extra.
So, and I look at it, you know, I have 2 daughters. I take them to the movies, between the tickets, the popcorn, the drink, candy, 60, 70 bucks, right?
You ain't joking there.
So, this is what we decided. We're going to have ringside seats. I would assume 200 to 300 ringside seats on the floor there at the Armory. $20.
That's it?
$20, that's it. Flat rate, $20.
So you got 300 reserve ringside for
I would
20
say,
bucks.
yeah, 200 to 300. We're still working out how things are going to be set up. But I would say 200 to 300, 20 bucks. First come, first serve. They're gone. We're not going to add any more.
So tickets, let me get this right for everybody watching at home. Once they pick up the tickets, they'll have a seat, but to guarantee a selective seat, you have to be there the day of the event.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So once you get there, it's first come, first serve once you come through the door.
Right.
Ticket only guarantees you
You'll
a seat.
have, you know,
Okay.
if we do things properly, the ringside seat will be different color than the general admission seat, so there'll be no confusion. If you're holding, say, a red ticket, that's you sit ringside, basically.
We'll work on that.
And then general admission seating, you're kind of fooling around with some prices and see. We don't want to, you know, $5 is $5, but maybe somebody, $5 will make a difference. If a dad and a mother are going to bring 3 kids, that's 5 people. That's $25 they can save by getting a general admission seat for each of the family. So
you're going 15?
We'll do $15 on the general admission.
That's not bad
and
at
that's a
all.
great seat there too because of the bleachers.
There's not a
at the
bad
Armory.
seat in the house. So now you're looking, another thing was that being at past wrestling shows, are you looking to fill the entire gymnasium or you can be cutting it in half?
You know, that's interesting. I know we kind of talked the other
Yeah.
day. My initial thought is to cut the Armory in half. I think it'll just look so much cooler. That's a big building.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I know it holds 13. The capacity is 1,300.
Now, in the best case scenario, we plan to use half, and we have to open up the whole thing. Great.
Only one set of
But
bleachers.
as of right now, I think I want to use half just so it just looks like.
Because it's going to be fun for
a wrestling
DVD and
event.
such, and the way it looks on DVDs down the line is an important part too.
Right.
You know, because you never know. We'll be airing portions of it here on TV, and nobody wants to see. Even though, let's say you sell 700, 800, 900 tickets, 900 tickets scattered amongst the Armory might not look that full.
Yeah, it is a big place.
It's a big place.
Like I said, best case scenario here in late November or December, ticket sales are flying. We have to make a decision to use some more space there.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the first clip. We're going to come back with all the ticket information, where to pick it up, how to pay for it, number to check back on the that name you keep talking about. I want to know who that is. Our email address and so much more.
It's a female.
I know. That's right.
That's all I'm telling you.
And I know if it's a female, I know you're very particular. It's got to be somebody,
It's a star.
a huge star.
It's a star.
Okay. If we can, Chris, let's go to the match. One of the men that's going to be appearing in Fall River on December the 8th, the Prodigy Mike. Now, is Marie going to be there?
You had to ask, right?
They're like peanut butter and jelly. I got to ask.
Well, one's going to be peanut butter here, one's going to be jelly here that weekend because Mike Bennett will be in Fall River and Maria will be in Nashville. So,
well, you're surprised. As much as I wanted to see Maria, I think that surprise you're coming might make up for Maria not being there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So. Let's go to the clip. This is back courtesy of ROHWrestling.com. This Border Wars, May the 12th, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This is a few short minutes of Mike Bennett taking on Lance Storm. Let's go to it.
Covered. Look at this. I'm loving this. This is 90% to Lance Storm without a doubt. Really showing this young guy something.
There are press and media from all over the world. We want to thank our friends at Live Audio Wrestling. Dan, John, Jason, Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1050 in Toronto and on liveaudiowrestling.com. And we also want to thank our friends at Fighting Spirit Magazine, UK's largest pro wrestling MMA publication. You can search for Fighting Spirit Magazine in the iTunes App Store. Look at the way neither could gain control of the hip toss, but it's still Storm that comes out on top, Nigel. Uh-oh.
Oh no, he's got bad intentions there, obviously trying to suplex him to the outside, but Bennett's having none of it. Oh!
Right into that turnbuckle as we talked about before.
Spine lined up perfectly with that.
It's basically high tension wire covered with a thin leather sleeve. Has absolutely no give. That's what allows the ring to stand up. That's what creates the tension on the ropes. And your body beats it. I'm sorry, that turnbuckle's gonna win.
Oh.
His chest reddened from the chops.
Now, let's see how Bennett takes advantage here. He's right over by us. Watch out.
Hey!
Unbelievable, right here.
Come on, Corderas. Get him out. Come on. You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. Difficult for me to just sit here, Kevin, and do nothing.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
A guy like that wants to get involved.
It is a pressure cooker here inside the Ted Reeve Arena. And inside the barricade right now, Lance Storm had been teaching Mike Bennett a lesson, but it looks as if the Prodigy is giving the teacher one in kind.
Well, they don't like him here in Canada.
Oh, they speak their mind in Toronto. That's what I love.
I don't like him anywhere, to be honest with you.
Again, Brutal Bob Evans, who throughout his career, no slouch. I mean, this guy, he can do a lot of great things. But he's hitched his wagon to Mike Bennett. And he knows that Bennett is what's going to get Evans wait a minute now. Evans knows that Bennett is what's going to get Brutal Bob the recognition that he never received when he was a full-time competitor.
He's a very angry, bitter individual. I think deep down he knows he's too old to get the job done himself anymore. So like you said, he's hitched his wagon to this young stud, Mike Bennett.
Well, again, you know, we talk about age, and age is just a number. Lance Storm, who at 42, now 43 actually. Come on, trying to defy Father Time.
Oh, look at that. Way up in the rafters. You know, I like Lance Storm. I have all the respect in the world for him. I don't hold out a lot of hope for him now. Bennett really on top. He's got the advantage of age on his side. And I really do think, wait a second. Just a 2 count there. I really do think that without Maria here, he's going to be more focused on his opponent, less focused on the beautiful girl on the outside.
And it's funny, while we do, of course, you know, we do enjoy looking at Maria. You have to wonder, is she that level of distraction? Referee Jimmy Corderas is right there. Lance Storm doesn't want to give up.
half his age.
Come on!
He has still got it, and then some.
Let's go!
That back is popped. Power. 2 isn't enough. No.
Yes, 2. Still in the game. Still in the game. Still in the game. Come on. Come on.
Getting up a little slower now, grabbing his back. He's got to be feeling it, Kevin. You know, I remember even when I was wrestling, starting to feel it. This guy's got 6 years on me.
Yeah. Now, can he strike with a super kick? No.
Oh, strong forearm.
Spine buster. Leg hook. 2. Oh, he's kicked out.
2 count. Right after he took that spine buster there, did his best to try and turn his shoulder to get to his stomach. Ever so smart, but Bennett was too quick, jumped on for the pinfall. Still can only get the 2 count.
Back to work. Back to work.
Back to work now, Bobby's screaming at him. Back to work.
Always about the plan for Brutal Bob Evans and the prodigy Mike Bennett.
Well, right up above us, watch out.
And now, spears him right in the center. Will this do it? No! Lance Storm won't stay down.
And what an embarrassment to lose in front of your home country fans.
That was the prodigy of Mike Bennett. Bobby, I'm going to put you on the spot. You told me not to put you on the spot. I'm going to put you on the spot. If there was one guy in Ring of Honor that you could say, man, WWE is going to be nailing him soon, do you think it's going to be the prodigy?
Yeah, I would. Probably. I mean, Adam Cole also. I don't know why the Briscoes aren't there.
The Briscoes, believe it or not, are my favorite tag team because ever since when the United Wrestling Federation, remember that, right?
Yeah.
Way back when the Anchor Plaza, remember the Anchor Plaza when they brought him in back in 2001, I believe. The whole Steve Corino, Gino Giovanni thing. I think the Briscoes on that.
Briscoes and SAT? No. I don't know, but it was the Briscoes were definitely on
Joel,
that.
Max, Joel, Jose, and Amazing Red. Yeah, they all came in. That was a great show. I missed UWF. I really do. Didn't last very long, but
You
I
might
missed
see
them.
it again soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, do we have a website that people can go to? You want to wait on that too?
No, it's just not ready right now.
Just let them know it's not
But
ready, but if they have the ad.
We have someone very talented hard at work, and we're dusting off UnitedWrestlingFederation.com.
And I was only joking when I said that too.
No, we are dusting off UnitedWrestlingFederation.com, and I would say for
UWF
people
makes
watching
it,
live, I would say either Wednesday or Thursday, and then of course people watching on the weekend in New Bedford will already be ready. Just go to Facebook and search United Wrestling Federation. There will be a page for this event as well there.
Okay. Let's get into this ticket information now. $20 for reserve ringside, $15 for the bleachers. Now, what we're going to do is we've selected a ticket outlet so the fans at home. Now, when will tickets be available for this so we can let everybody be on the same page here? What are we looking at?
I gotta think.
Today's Tuesday, so...
The first weekend in November there, like the November 3rd is a Saturday. You know, by then we should have, we should be ready to rock. Yeah.
Monday,
5 weeks out.
Monday would be the 5th, so we'll start Monday the 5th.
Sure.
Okay. So everybody watching at home on the Bedford here in Fall River and online, tickets will be available starting Saturday. Monday, November the 5th. So I'm going to write it down so I don't forget because I'm the one
The
who
day before
handle.
Election Day.
Yeah,
This is more important.
that's a whole, yeah, anyway. Monday, November the 5th, tickets will go on sale. Now you have a few different ways you could be picking up your tickets, and I'll go over this a few times before we go off the air tonight. We'll have tickets available at one location, one business in the city of Fall River, at Roderick's Insurance Agency, 169 Stafford Road in Fall River. If you're coming down, it's right, once you come off Plymouth Avenue, you hang it right there. It's right there, right past the laundromat. So it's Roderick's Insurance Agency, 169 Stafford Road in Fall River. Just let them know if you want the $20 ringside or the $15 bleacher seats, and that'll be great. And I'm expecting the floor seats, as we did in both 2004 shows, the floor seats are going to go quick.
Yeah. they went very quickly last time. So that's why it's. I
We
think,
had
you know,
Christopher's show, we had 400 on the floor.
really,
400
I don't remember,
seats.
but I know. Just get it out of the way. Purchase them
Okay.
a month ahead of time, and you'll be set.
Yeah, so it's 20 for the seats, 15 for the bleachers. Pick them up once again at Roderick's Insurance Agency, 169 Stafford Road in Fall River. Also, we accept if you want to do the payments online, a lot of people use PayPal nowadays. Just log on to PayPal if you have an account. Type in WrestlingSpotlight@gmail.com. That's going to be our address. Simply.
There it is.
There we go. WrestlingSpotlight@gmail.com. Once you log on to PayPal, and simply you want one ticket for the floor. Obviously, it'd be $20. You want a bleacher and a seat, that'd be $35. Just do the math. It's really simple. What we'll do is after you receive the payment, we'll send you back a confirmation letting you know what the tickets will be. Now, exactly, I wanted to do, the day of the show. How did you want to handle that to make it easier for everybody?
That's the whole point. Make it easier for everyone. I'm not sure. I mean, what do you think's the best way? I know we were talking about it before we went on the air. Instead of having everyone pick them up at the Armory that day, maybe we should have a pickup. Why don't we?
I'll wait on.
You have your show here. You have the event hotline. We can update. We'll have the Facebook page. All that stuff we can update. We will. We'll come up with something. Like I mentioned to you, maybe a little special idea. As far as maybe a 2-hour period somewhere, someplace,
at the Armory,
someday that people can pick up tickets. Maybe we'll have a surprise or two for them.
No kidding.
We'll see what we can do.
So you can pick it up at Roderick's Insurance Agency. You can pay via PayPal at WrestlingSpotlight@gmail.com. And also, if you want to email us at WrestlingSpotlight@gmail.com, any information regarding the show, we'll shoot all the question, comments, and suggestions over to Bobby. And also, we have a event hotline. What we're going to do is, wow, she's right on the ball today, huh? Event hotline. So this will be effective tonight, 774-264-1831, 24 hours a day. Doesn't matter. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Once I get confirmation from you or from the silent partner over there, once we have it, we'll be updating the line. So that way we'll let people know what are available for the tickets, who will be appearing. All the information you will need will be on that. Now, another question is, I've had a lot of people, believe it or not, contact me so far. I actually put it up on my Facebook page, and people already want tickets for the charity, even though they didn't even know.
We didn't even announce Jerry Lawler yet.
It doesn't even matter. They wanted tickets. So those people I'm going to be meeting up with on or after November the 5th. So anybody watching at home, whether you live in New Bedford, Fall River, if you live on the outside, on the outskirts of town, doesn't matter. Give us a call, 774-264-1831, and I'll make sure you get the tickets in hand. We'll take care of it. So the sooner we get rid of the tickets, the better.
Yeah, I would say. That would be nice.
No. We got a few minutes left, Bobby. Anything else you wanted to touch on real quick? About 3 minutes or so.
Well, how many years has it been? I know it's 7.5 years since I've been here, but how many years have you been doing this show?
13 years.
13 years. That's amazing.
Here we go. Now he's going to chime in, right?
Well, no, I was just going to say, you had a lot more hair back then.
I don't know about that. 13 years, though.
13 years, yeah.
But I do have a question.
Sure.
3 minutes. This
Okay.
is for Bobby, not for you. I've asked you enough questions through the years.
Okay.
But who's the one person through your travels that you've met that you were just like, wow, and it will just stick with you for, the rest of your life?
Steve Carino.
I see him too much now. Yeah, that's a great question. I would say probably Vince McMahon would be one. I mean, that's like, in the wrestling business, that's the Great Oz. You know what I mean? And when I won't forget, after I did a dark match at a SmackDown taping in Tulsa, he came up to me and he shook my hand. He said, "Bobby, you did a hell of a job. But next time, try not to be so Howard Finkel-ish." I guess I sounded too much like Howard Finkel that night. So that always stuck with me. And, it's been so many. I mean, I guess another one was Cena, because Cena was really cool. He came up and told me how he really liked the job I did previously, the night before. And once he found out I was from Massachusetts, that was it. It was like best friends, going to hang out together and drink beers together and everything when I was on the road with them. So.
I got to ask you real quick before we switch it to the clip here. Pete, can we kill that? What I want to ask you, though, is I do a lot of video work for New England Championship Wrestling.
Yes.
And you recently just did your old I call it the Carino spoof.
Carino intro.
Yeah, Carino. Yeah. I call it the spoof. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, the place was packed, and let me tell you, that scrap iron, Adam Pearce, what a mean son of a bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Can I say prick?
You just did.
All right. I mean, he is, but yeah, that was fun because I haven't done the Carino intros since 2004, basically, right before I took over the full-time gig with Ring of Honor as a ring announcer.
No offense, though, I thought you were gonna get shot that night. Yeah. They hated your guts.
Yeah, it was. But those Carino intros were fun. Yeah. I mean, just to be a jerk, basically. And, you know, we used to take 15, 20 minutes with those intros. But to do it kind of like reminiscent old times and do it with Pierce
Brian
against
Regal
Colt
had
Cabana.
something to do with it back in the day, right?
No, Brian Regal, no. Please.
Why
would you say that?
I thought Brian Regal was involved.
No. Guillotine LeGrand was involved. He used to write the intros for Carino and pass them along to me.
Good old Guillotine, yeah.
I actually wrote the one for Pierce at NECW in Bridgewater. And with his match with Cabana, yeah, that was fun. That was definitely fun.
That was well put together, though. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. I spent time writing that. So, I know you got another clip. I want to congratulate you on 13 years. I mean, you're still here. You still have the same sign, same logo. You know what I mean? That's cool.
I don't know how to take that, but anyway.
No, I mean it's good. I mean you haven't changed that.
Do you have a personal email you want to give out so that the fans?
No.
Do you want me to take it?
No. Yeah.
I'll pass
how about wrestlingspotlight@gmail.com?
Okay.
That works.
No, we're not even going to go there.
I will say this before you throw it to the clip. I'm happy to be alongside you again. I'm happy to be working, hopefully, with Top Rope and Steve Ricard. Fall River is their city.
I forgot.
And they have Kowalski Cup coming up in November. I'm not going to remember the date, but they have Kowalski Cup coming up at the PAA Hall in Fall River. Did I say Cup? That's what
no, you said something else.
Well, Kowalski Cup in Fall River at the PAA Hall in November.
You said something else.
So, support Top Rope Promotions, and I know they'll be working with us for this big event with Jerry the King Lawler and so many others.
And also, I wanted to get out, though, you mentioned, now, is PWF Northeast involved in this in any way?
I don't know.
Not yet?
You know what, I haven't made all the calls. And,
so they could be added.
Someone told me to contact them.
Okay,
I just
haven't. That's good.
I haven't done it yet.
Because Ryan Bisbell right now and Brandon Locke and the rest of those guys.
Yeah, Ryan Bisbell. I saw him last year for the first time at a show. I worked in Rhode Island, and first time I had seen him, I was impressed. And then Carino, I guess, did some stuff over the summer in Providence with PWF and with Ryan Bisbell, and he was really saying some good stuff about the kid.
So what I'm going to do is, I know Chaotic Wrestling's running on November the 9th. I'll try my best to get up to that event. I believe it's up in Lowell.
What if Kowalski Cup's November 9th?
Then I'll do Kowalski Cup. I can only be in one place at one time.
Me too.
But what I'll do is I'll do Chaotic Wrestling. I'll make sure I'm up there. I'll have tickets.
You go to Chaotic, I'll go to Top Rope.
No, you go to Chaotic, I'll go to Top Rope. But I'll be at Chaotic on the 9th. NECW is running on the 2nd. PWF's running on the 3rd. So if we can get a working relationship with PWF, I will be there on the 3rd also.
Now you put pressure on me. I got to call them now.
But I got to ask you, though, real quick, before we...
They're going to go off the air.
I'll save it for next time.
Go ahead.
Two quick names. I want to get right off the bat. It's like one of these. First thing that comes to your mind now? I mean, your travel partner, Todd Sinclair.
Yeah, my best buddy on the road, no doubt. I don't know how he's put up with it. All the years we've been traveling together on the road for Ring of Honor. I mean, we've traveled together in Japan and in England and around here. He's had to put up with me for a long time, and he's only hit me, like really hit me twice, which is amazing. So, great guy, best referee I've ever seen, by the way.
He's one of the best. Scrap Iron Adam Pearce?
Yeah, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. I used to want to kill him. We had our HDNet TV tapings in Philadelphia, and he was, the booker at the time. He's on the headset, and this scream and this and that. And I used to tell him, I'm going to punch you right in the face. I'll run afterwards, but I was going to punch you in the face. So, yeah, he's a good friend.
Okay, if we can go to the clip right now, I want to thank, obviously, Bobby for joining us tonight. Maybe we could do this again real soon. Let's not make it another 7.5, 8 years.
And I will say this. Let me say this to you.
Good.
I don't know when you're live again, but you're going to be live a couple times at least in November between now and the December 8th event.
I should have got hope so.
Okay. How about a phone in from Jerry the King Lawler?
Sure,
Wouldn't that be great?
We can work on that.
Okay, we'll do that.
We can work on that. So that being said, Pete, do we have enough time to go to the clip?
You're pushing it real close there.
Let's go to it anyway. I want to thank Bobby for joining us. Let's go to the clip. This is going to be Davey Richards taking on Kevin Steen for the ROH Heavyweight title, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody.
He loves it.
There is a sadistic streak. Wait a minute. Is this it? No. This is a sadistic streak that we didn't see in Davey Richards for a long time.
Ankle lock on that injured left leg.
This is what Richards said he would do.
And a lot of people don't realize, but the ankle lock, as well as applying pressure to the ankle, applies pressure to the knee.
Wait a minute. Roll up. 2.
Here we go.
Package pile driver.
Trying for F Sank, no.
Watch out.
Oh my God!
The DR driver! The DR driver scores 2! My God, we haven't seen Davey Richards use that move in years!
Look at Davey's face!
With the pile driver legal, the door was open for Richards to use that.
He cannot believe it. I can't believe it. Kevin Kelly, can you believe it?
No!
Steve Corino, can you believe it? He can't believe it. What's it gonna take? This is no ordinary match for Kevin Steen. It's his one chance in his home country. Everything on the line.
And I think the words of the fans are now starting to resonate within Davey Richards. A look at this capacity, standing room only, beyond sellout crowd here at Border Wars at the Ted Reeve Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The Ring of Honor World Championship on the line. Davey Richards defending against wrestling's worst nightmare, Kevin Steen. The package pile driver legal, but this is Steen's one and only chance to capture the gold. Kawada kicks now from the champion.
Oh, look at that head. Oh, yeah.
Sweat flying off of both men.
Oh, my God.